Okay. So agendas for today's meetup, like we will go with introduction, then we will discuss about Anypoint monitoring. We will see what's new in MuleSoft, Anypoint alerts and notification, dataloader.io, live demonstration. Okay, so we will see the live demonstration on dataloader.io. So organization, myself is Jitendra Bafna, and I'm the senior solution architect working with the Capgemini, with the various integration technology, and mostly I'm looking after various MuleSoft projects and capabilities. Yeah, Nitish, the Nitish is recently newly added co-leader for this meetup. Okay, and Nitish, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, Jitendra. It's my pleasure. Hello, everyone. I'm Nitish Jain. Uh, I work for IBM from Bangalore.
Thanks, Nitish. Then, the speaker for today's meetup is Nikhil Manchanda, who is the solution architect at API Zero, and myself, Jitendra Bapna, senior solution architect at Capgemini. Nikhil, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, Jitendra. Thank you. So, hi guys, this is Nikhil Manchanda. I'm solutions architect with Epicero, and I'm recently looking into multiple things apart from MuleSoft. But I really like sharing my knowledge and giving the insight of multiple things which are happening in the MuleSoft arena. So today I will be sharing the things about monitoring and alert, and lot many insights I'm going to share today in this meetup. Thank you.
Okay. So now, somebody asked me what are the new things has been introduced in Anypoint Studio 7.70. Yeah, so we have a slide for that. So in MuleSoft or Anypoint Studio 7.7, they have enhanced they enhanced the API development lifecycle and the platform collaboration. So basically, whenever previously, what is happening, you are going to Anypoint platform, you are writing the YAML there, you're doing the mock testing, and everything is there, right? Now it is possible to do from the Anypoint Studio. So basically, you can write a YAML in your Anypoint Studio, and it will generate a documentation, it will generate a GUI based documentation which it generated in the Anypoint platform also. And then you can also enable the mock service, and you can test your API, you can get the feedback. Then it have a support for the government cloud, so basically now you can connect government cloud, so MuleSoft has a one different separate cloud for government. Okay, so any government, like a US government, Indian government, whatever, so there are separate cloud for the government. So now you can use Anypoint Studio, like your normal Anypoint Studio, to publish into government exchange, similar to non-government, support. So basically, with the government support, you can also leverage the full API lifecycle development. You can deploy your application from Anypoint Studio on the government cloud. So now we have a support for Anypoint Studio to connect the government cloud. Then we have a good improvements in the data. We better auto generate the sample data based on your input metadata. You can see now sample data and transformation result in a data structure view, which is provide a more data driven experience. So so there are improvement in data view editor. Okay, so the way of generating the schema has become bit simpler now. Okay, then it also upgraded to Eclipse 4.16 and support point for Anypoint Studio, support Eclipse 4.16, and it is updated with the latest of Mule 4.3.0 patches. So previous 4.30 have a few small things here, small issues here and there, that has fixed in a September patch, and that has been released with Anypoint Studio 7.7. Okay, so now this is what few new features has been added to Anypoint 7.7. Now I will give hand over to Nikhil Manchanda to walk you through the Anypoint monitoring. Nikhil, you can take the control. I will unshare my screen.
Sure, Jitendra. Thank you. I will share my screen. Let me know when you are able to see my screen. So is it visible now?
Your screen is visible. You can go ahead.
Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you, guys. So today's agenda is to understand things about Anypoint monitoring and alerts. So basically, these are the features which comes under operational capabilities. So once we are done with the design, development, and deployment of the application, then we move to the operational phase of the software life cycle. And in this phase, we take care of monitoring, we take care of alert, and we take care of the security. And in today's session, we are going to discuss about monitoring and alert, what capabilities Anypoint platform is providing for this monitoring and alerts, and how we can leverage them out of the box and make our network more robust. So starting with the first slide. So I have already discussed this, that the operational model consists of three parts: monitoring, alert, and security. So I will talk about more about the cloud hub architecture. So there are two models here. One is the cloud hub, one is the on-prem, and sometimes we also opt for the hybrid in some cases where we need more security over the data. So in this diagram, if you see, once we have the cloud hub infrastructure in place, then we have the second box basically defines that how we can define the application monitoring, then how we can define the application alerts, and if our applications are connecting with VPC, then how we can have a connectivity monitoring also with that particular VPC. And in case of on-prem model, the infrastructure responsibility, the infrastructure handling capability also we need to take care. So basically the first box we need to replace with the on-prem, and we need to take care of the infrastructure stuff, and after that the remaining part will remain the same. So this is what the operational model looks like for any typical network, whether it's a cloud hub or on-prem or hybrid also. So we define the application monitoring, then we define the application alerts, and if there is a connectivity in between, if there is a VPC to which we are connecting, we define that connectivity monitoring also. So now coming more to the monitoring part. So in the Anypoint platform, I will showcase all these things what I am discussing. So I will shift to the Anypoint platform, and I will show you what all things I'm discussing here. So the monitoring, basically using the runtime manager, we have two things. One is the application monitoring dashboards, which when we deploy any application, these are the features that we cover. And when we have on-prem server, standalone servers, then we configure the server monitoring dashboards. So I will now shift to the Anypoint platform, and I will showcase you server-based monitoring and application-based monitoring. Then as we move forward, I will slowly unreveal all the things that we can configure in the Anypoint monitoring and alerting part. So I will now go to my, let me log out. I'll log in here. This is the Anypoint platform. In the management center, we have multiple things. In there, I'm going to the runtime manager. In the runtime manager, if I go to servers, here you will see I have added one server, but that server is disconnected right now. So whenever when I enable this server, what will happen? It will show this dashboard. Basically, this dashboard tells that what is the heap memory, what is the CPU, and other resources which are there in this on that server. And if you want to further break down, then we can click on the breakdown tab, and we can then have a extensive overview of all the matrices which we can see out of the box. So we don't need to configure anything, visual VM, anything like that. So it already there out of the box for standalone servers as well. So if you see, we can see thread count, garbage collection, how many class loaded, Eden space, survivor space, old generation, young generation is not there. So old generation and meta space. So all these things basically comes out of the box when you log in into your Anypoint platform, and you have enabled the agent to communicate, enable the agent on the runtime server to communicate with your Anypoint platform. So right now, if you see, this is disconnected. Let me connect it with the server. So my server, basically the server, I have a local standalone server, and I will connect that server with this Anypoint, with this account. So this is my runtime server. Now I will simply go here. Now I'm starting my server. So all the things that I'm going to cover in this session will be around monitoring and alerts. So other things, if you want us to take care, then let us know. We will definitely cover all those parts as well if you want. But right now, all the things will be with respect to monitoring and alerts. So I assume that you already know that what is a runtime server and how you can run the standalone server. So right now you can see my Mule server is starting. Let me see the status of this. Okay, it started. So now you see the server is running, and when I go here, so in some time the data will be populated here, and we can see the heap, memory, CPU utilization, everything here itself. So now coming back to this particular slide. So what I have shown you is the server-based monitoring dashboards. So this is what you get out of the box when you configure your Anypoint platform and the runtime agent in your standalone servers. Now, coming back to this application monitoring, these all features I'm going to cover in the.
Nikhil, can you maximize your screen? Can you change it to presenter mode? Because like people are asking to change it to presenter mode. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Is it visible now?
Yeah, Nikhil.
Sure. So now coming back to the application monitoring dashboards. In application monitoring dashboards, basically we have default monitoring capabilities, and then we have customized monitoring capabilities. So when we don't go for any customization, these are the default capabilities that you get. In the default capabilities, whenever you deploy an application to your Cloud Hub instance, then what you will get the Mule messages, CPU, and the memory, these three particular matrices. And if you see on the right hand side top corner, you can only see for the last hour, last 24 hour, or last week. But if you want to adjust the time and duration for which you want to see these matrices, you cannot do that. So for that, we need the custom monitoring dashboards that I will cover in some time. So if by seeing this, if you are able to make out that what's happening in your worker, then we are good. But if you are not able to make out that what's happening in your worker, why the sudden spike is there, why CPU, why your worker is not responding, in that cases you have multiple options. You have the option of insights. So insights is basically whatever is happening with your data. You can see that whenever the message is coming in your Mule worker and inside your application, and what all processing is done on that particular message and data, you can see in the insights. So I will switch to the next slide. So these are the insights, and when you configure this insights, so basically it will send the worker data to the Mule this Anypoint platform, and in that case, all the transactions will be tracked, and you will get all the event information which is happening with your that particular message or request. But when you enable insights, it consumes resources, so that's why it is not advisable to keep it active for longer duration. So whenever you have issues, you can switch on this or activate this insights, and I will show you how to activate this insights. And once your transaction tracking or event based tracking is done, then you can deactivate or switch off this insights. So now I will go back to my Anypoint platform, and I will go back to the application. So I have deployed one application because deployment takes a little bit longer. So that's why I have deployed this application, but I have not enabled anything. So whenever I go inside this any application, you will see these default matrices: Mule messages, CPU, and the memory. So sometimes these default matrices are not enough to understand what's happening in your worker. So in that case, the first option that we can explore is the insight. So right now, if I click on the insight, you see we don't see anything, because by default the insights are disabled for each application. So to enable these insights, what we need to do, we need to go to the settings, we need to go to the insight tabs. If you see, this is disabled. There are two options that you will get. One is the metadata, second is the metadata in the replay. So I am using the free account, that's why this option is disabled, but your corporate account would be having this as enabled, and then you can replay also from this option. So right now what I will do, I will just simply say store the metadata of the Mule transactions. So when you enable insights, you will get this warning message that the performance and the memory consumption can be impacted. So if you are okay, then proceed with this option. So you just need to select yes, I understand, and apply the changes. When you apply the changes and click OK, the changes will come into picture. And now what I will do, I will just simply hit this application. So let me quickly tell you what is this application, because in this demo we will be interacting with this application. So I just want to tell you, this is a very simple application I have created. This is an employee, you can say employee database kind of application. And it has three endpoints. One is employee, one is employee all, and the third one is the health check. So this basically employee you will get, so there is an object store. You will get the information of the employees from the object store, and you can post the employees and you can delete the employee. And when you call this all operation, you will get all the employees information. And health check, basically it's a ping test which will tell that this particular application is healthy. So just I wanted to quickly give you brief overview of this application, what this application is doing, and more I will talk about in the later slides when we come to the specific sections. So right now these are the things that this application is doing. It is getting the employee information, it is posting the employee information, it is deleting the employee information. Okay, so now getting back to this, now I go into the Insight tab, and if I hit this particular endpoint, let's say, let me hit employee all. So right now you see there are no employees in this particular application, but in some time you will see a transaction in the insights. And then once that transaction is visible, then I will tell you that what events are taking place and how to read those transactions and events in the Insight tab. So just let's wait for a couple of seconds. It appears in a couple of seconds. So till the time, let me add one employee. Okay, so I've added one employee. Let me call the get operation again. Okay. So let's give it a couple of seconds, and we will have the transactions anytime here. Yep. So now you see I did three transactions basically. I called this the application 3 times. So when you call application, this is that means it is one transaction. So if I open this transaction, you will see that what all happened with your data you will see here. So basically it started from the employee main, and then it came to the router, then it called this employee all flow, then the process started, then the message processor pre-invoke and post-invoke, all the events you will see here, and what all your data has gone through, it will be captured here.
Sorry to interview, like, can you, your screen is not maximized, right? So people are asking to maximize the screen.
1 second. Yeah, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so important thing to note here is the processing time also. So how much processing time your one transaction has taken, you will get here also. So most of the details you will get here, but just remember that whenever you enable insights, it has the performance impact. So because your worker has to interact with the Anypoint platform, it has to send the data to the Anypoint platform. So that's why it has to utilize some of the resources. So that's why if you are running the application on point one, then it will be very difficult for the application to keep up with the resources. So if you want to debug, then you can enable it, and once you enable it, then you can get all the information. So in the insights, there is one more feature. You can have the KPIs, key performance and matrices you can enable, and you can track all those things as well. Now what I will do, just one second. So this is the application which I have deployed, and I will quickly jump to the post method of this application. So this is the post method, and if you see, there is a custom business event that I'm capturing here. So all the business key related information that you want to capture, you can give it here. And in some time I will show you that how it will be reflected in the insights and how you can track your business key performance data in the insights. So if you see here, I have let me show you the input first. Just give me a second. So basically, in the post, what I'm sending as the input data is these four key value pairs in the JSON format. So it has employee ID, employee name, skill, and the region. And what I am capturing as part of the key performance matrix is the employee ID and the skill. Okay. So if I go back to the application, if I show you, you can see that the employee ID and employee skills, this is what I'm capturing as a part of business entities. And these data will be displayed in the insights. So let me see where is the post. This is the get operation. This is also the get. Let me refresh. Okay, so we have the third transaction. Let me yeah. So if you see here, these are the custom events that you can send from your MuleSoft application, and it will be captured here. So you can have all these. And if you see here, there is a drop down, and right now it is giving everything. So you can filter out, and if you just want to see the custom event details, then you can click on the custom event details, and it will only show those transactions which are capturing the this key performance indicators for your application. So this is all that you can do in the insights. You can capture the business events, and then you can see what all business events, what happened around that business event, and then you can debug your application. You can understand that, okay, where if the processing time is more or not for that particular transaction, if it is more, what you can do. So all these things you can cover and capture in the insights. So let me go back to the slide. So this is what it's written over here as well. What happened with a particular transaction or synchronization? When did the transaction occur? How long did it take? What was the result of a transaction? If something went wrong during process, at what point did the failure occur? So let me showcase the fourth point as well. Give me a second. So right now what I will do, I will go to my Postman. And so basically, to get a employee, I need to provide a parameter, employee ID. If I don't give that, it will give error, bad request error. Now let me go back to the insights. Okay, let me select everything. Just give it a couple of seconds so that it can send that data to this particular insights. Yes. So if you see the latest transaction got failed, and if I click and open this transaction, you will see required query parameter employee ID not specified, and you will see where that particular event actually got invoked or occurred. So this way you can also see in case of failure also at which particular place that failure occurred. All those things you can capture in the transactions, in the insights, and you can get all the information in the insights like this. So this is all about insights, but yeah, whenever you are using this insights, just make sure you are not enabling it for longer duration, because it has a performance hit, and it is not advisable to keep it active for longer durations. So that's all about insights. Now I will move forward. This we have covered. Now, so insights, you will get the transaction details, but what if I want to understand that what happened at particular instance of time, and what is the CPU utilization, what is the memory utilization, what are the other how many requests are there in the system as a specific point. So all these things are not covered by insight. So for that, the MuleSoft gives the Anypoint platform capability, which is known as Anypoint monitoring, and we can utilize this particular feature of the Anypoint platform and build our own dashboards or utilize the existing dashboards which MuleSoft provide out of the box. So I will tell you why do we need custom dashboards. But first, what we will see that what capabilities or features MuleSoft covers in the built-in dashboard. Switch back to my Anypoint platform, and now I will go to monitoring. So right now, if you see, so here if you have multiple environments, you can select from which environment you want to enable or disable the Anypoint monitoring for which application. You have hybrid also, you have runtime fabric also. So you can enable the Anypoint monitoring for any of your application which are deployed on various infrastructure, Cloud Hub, on-prem, or runtime fabric. So right now, if you see this particular is already enabled. So if it is not enabled, what you need to do, you have to go to the settings and you need to just select the environment, and you just the applications, whatever applications are there in that particular environment, it will be listed here in this section. And then what you can do, you just need to select this enable checkbox and click apply. So right now I will apply this. So it says that whenever you want to start the application monitoring, it will restart the application. Why? Because it sets one of the variable in the property tag, that's the analytics agent that you enable. So it sets that property to true, so that it sends the data from your worker to the Anypoint platform. So that's how the communication is established. When you set that parameter only, so there are two ways to activate the Anypoint monitoring. One is you can go from here, or second is you can directly have that parameter enabled in the application itself. So right now I will not do this. I will go to the runtime manager and that application, and I will show you that what property is there and what is the impact of that property. So if I go here, Now I go to the properties tab. And if you see, this is the property Anypoint platform config analytics agent enabled. This is now this is set to false. So to enable Anypoint monitoring, we can directly set it to true here, or from there also when we do that, it will set this property to true and it will restart the application so that it can take effect. So right now you see this value is false. Now I will go back there and I will activate the Anypoint monitoring for this application from monitoring tab itself. So now you see there is an enabled checkbox and the application is redeploying. So it will take a couple of seconds to redeploy. Let it redeploy. Once we redeploy this application, then you will see, we can see the built-in dashboard for this or for whatever application we have enabled this particular monitoring capability. And then we will cover the custom dashboards also after that. So let's give it a couple of seconds to redeploy. And in the meanwhile, I can show you that that property has been changed to true. I'll go back in the runtime manager. It's updating. Let that update. So now if you see, this is the analytics agent and you see this property. Now it is set to true. Okay, so let it give some time so that it boots up properly. So application is started successfully. Okay. Let me go back to the monitoring tab now. So now here you will see now that the application is available for the to see the built-in dashboards, default dashboard. So if I click view, so you will see all the out of the box matrices which are available and you can visualize. So there are multiple tabs here. You can see inbound, outbound, performance, failure, JVM, and infrastructure. So inbound is these are self-explanatory names. So inbound means whatever is happening at your inbound side, all matrices will be captured here. So total request by response, average response time by endpoint, all these are captured as part of inbound matrices. And similarly for outbound also, these will be the same, but it is for the outbound. Whatever is going out from your application, all those things will be covered in this section. So you will see. So let me fire a few requests so that we capture the data point. Bad request. Okay. Okay, and let me do one all operation as well. So I'm just creating few data points for the matrices so that it can populate the data here. Okay. So now you will see the data has been populated, and you will see that different matrices have different. So this particular resource, this is the average min max time. So all these parameters are there, and you can visualize what's happening and how many failed requests are there. So you will see all these parameters in the inbound. So outbound, this application is not sending data outside the application, so that's why there will be no data points available for this particular section. In the performance section, you will see the inbound average response time, multiple things you will see in this particular section as well, and you can compare. And similarly, in the failure section, you will see the failure related, how many requests got failed, inbound request, outbound request, all those data will be visible in this particular section. In the JVM section, you will get the JVM specific details, how many class loaded, what is the heap memory, and how much of the heap memory has been used, how much is committed, what is the thread count, JVM uptime. So all these things you will see in this particular section. So since this built-in dashboards are covering much information, so why do we need custom dashboard? So custom dashboard basically, if you want to compare the inbound, some of the entity matrices from the inbound, some of the matrices from the outbound, some of the matrices from the performance section, from JVM section, and you want to see at a relative point what's happening in different matrices from different sections, then we can go for the custom dashboard, and we can have we can build so much things out of this custom dashboard. So now I will jump to the custom dashboard part, and I will take one matrix from each of the section, and I will show you that what's the relevance or the significance of this custom dashboard and why do we need this. So creating a custom dashboard is very simple and straightforward in this. So it tells you that what kind of dashboard you want to create. I want to create a graph, and I will click here. I want to configure. Okay. So my application is in Sandbox. It's monitoring app demo 1. Yes. Okay. And I want from the inbound section, I want to configure this inbound average request count by endpoint. I want to capture this matrix. Okay, this is, I'll say, custom dashboard. Okay, so I will add another row, and this time I will add one matrix from the JVM. So you will see all the out of the box matrices which are available. So CPU utilization is one of the important matrix that we need to capture. So I will capture this, and I will give it a meaningful name, JVM CPU utilization. And I will apply change. Okay, I will click here. I will go inside. So you can resize your matrices also so that it can fit nicely in your screen. Give me a second. Can fit in here. Okay, so last 5 minutes I don't want for last. So this is what I was saying. So in the insights and in the default application dashboard, you don't get this facility. So you get only last hour, last 24 hours, and last week capability. So if you want to customize the time or the duration for which you want to see all the resources and all these data points, so you can do it in the custom dashboards. So I can see for 5 minute, 15 minute, or I can select any days or whatever duration I want to choose. So let me say I want to select for the last 15 minutes. So this is how. So you can see I have just added two matrices from different section. One is from the inbound and one is from the JVM. And I can see, okay, at this moment, I got some request in my application, in my worker, and this is how my CPU behaved at that point. And once the requests are gone, then it got normalized. So this is how the custom dashboards are, plays a very vital role when you want to understand the behavior of your worker and how much resources and memory it is consuming. So all these things plays very vital role when you want to understand all these things and want to upscale or just downgrade the size and the resources of your application. So these are the things that you can do for monitoring. So with this, one second. So these are the capabilities of the monitoring capabilities that you can set. So right now I'm on the free account. That's why you don't see the log management part. So if you are on the Titanium subscription, you can see this log management part also, and you can search logs and do many things with this particular section when you are on the Titanium subscription. But with the base subscription also, you can configure many things in the Anypoint platform and utilize all these things to understand your application behavior and then take the corrective action if required. Okay, so we have already discussed Anypoint monitoring, all these things. So I'm just skipping all these parts because I have already explained. So this API, this once again, I will explain you this function monitoring. So this API function monitoring, yeah. So if you see right now I'm on the free account, that's why this function monitoring is not enabled. So right now what you can do with this function monitoring is you can simply give or create a file and then you can test your API. So basically what it does, you can set the frequency that after how much duration you want to hit the specific endpoint and collect the data, or if this that particular API is functional or not. So if from this function monitoring, you can generate reports and understand that if your application network is working properly or not, and it can send the notifications in email in the form of email and other things that you want to configure. So right now I don't have this capability in my free account, that's why I won't be able to showcase this. But yeah, when you are on the organization or enterprise account, definitely this capability will be there. And analytic parts, this analytic part also, right now in the free account, the analytic part is not enabled. But once you enable this analytics part and you have configured the API, the auto discovery in your application, and you have connected your application with the API manager, then you can leverage this feature. In the analytics part, you can understand that from which part of the world you are getting the request, what is the how many requests by date is there, request by location, things are there. So you can do all these things when you have this analytic feature enabled in your Anypoint platform. This is all about Anypoint monitoring and how we can leverage out of the box things that are available in the Anypoint platform. So before jumping into the next section, which is alert, so any question or anything that you would like to discuss, or shall we move ahead?
Nikhil, one more thing we can show it, like can you go to Anypoint monitoring and can you go to settings? Are you going to show that, right, in Anypoint monitoring with settings?
1 second, Jitendra, let me go to the settings.
Yeah. Okay, so can I talk? It's fine, right, Nikhil? Okay.
Yeah, you can talk.
Okay, so like basically, let's consider like you have a deployment on premise, like you have deployed like Mule runtime on premise, like you have enabled the clustering or like server group on the top of your server. Then, like if you want to send your analytics to the Anypoint monitoring from your on premise server, yeah, we can do that. We can leverage those custom built-in dashboard. We can leverage the custom dashboard for the on premise deployment using this hybrid option. Can we click on this hybrid option? So basically what you have to do, you have to download this, you have to select the environment. So basically what happens, so once you have registered your server into your like control plane into Anypoint runtime manager, or you have set up the clustering and like you have set up the server group. So basically in that case you can select your environment and what are the servers. Then you can download this am.zip. Okay, and here instructions are given. So basically on the Linux you can copy this file to .bin. No, you just unzip that file, and like like you can cd into this particular folder and you can execute this command. Basically, the instructions are given that. So once you have done that, once you have set up the agent for your in your hybrid implementation or for your on-premise server, then it will start sending the analytics or the metadata to the Anypoint monitoring, and you can see all this, you can leverage all these features available in built-in dashboard and the custom dashboard. Yeah, that's what Nikhil, I want to add.
Yeah, so in the Cloud Hub application, you just have to set one variable in the properties. That's it. You just have to enable or activate the runtime or the analytic agent. But when it's on-prem, what Jitendra said is true. You have to do little bit more, and you have to follow the steps which are on your screen. You just need to download this and extract and do, and then run these commands which I mentioned. Then it will enable the agent from your standalone server, and it will interact with your Anypoint platform and send the data from your Anypoint standalone server to the Anypoint platform. So this is what all monitoring capabilities you get in the base version of the membership also. But yeah, as you move in the top layers, you will get additional features like log management and functional monitoring and API analytics also. So I will showcase that as well. So in the API manager, we will show the alert capabilities. Then I will cover all these things. So this is what all you can do for monitoring. So if this is clear, then we can move to the alert part. Okay, so
Nikhil, does anybody have any question till now what Nikhil has discussed on that? Like, so if anybody has a question, they can ping in the chat, so I can make them as a a speaker. They can talk. Have anybody have any question on what Nikhil have discussed? Okay, let me. I will enable your mic. Ready? Yeah, you can ask the question. I have enabled your,
Okay, thank you very much, Jitendra. And
Yeah.
the question is, Nikhil has shown us a screen where we can test the health status of a particular endpoint based on certain frequency. Now the question, this implicitly mean that are we not creating some sort of a microservice kind of a app which is going to consume the resources that were being allocated for an endpoint?
Okay, let me take that question and let me go back.
Yeah, that's the one screen.
Yeah, so basically this means that you are monitoring your application and you are telling this particular feature of the platform that to ping the, so what we do when we have microservices also, we group certain microservices and we have a health checkpoint allocated with those microservices, and we constantly ping that health checkpoint and understand that whether the application is working or not, whether it's freezed or not. So if it is freezed, then we have to take the corrective action. We have to understand. So for all these things, so that our application is available, highly available, and it's 24/7 available all the time. So that's why we configure this feature, and this we don't have to do any additional setup to understand whether our application is working or not. So this is the feature provided by any MuleSoft, which you can leverage and configure the health check here and do the ping test and understand whether your applications are reachable or not. If your application is not reachable, it will create a it will create a report, and it will send that report to your email, or you can have multiple connectors available in this particular section, and you can configure Slack also, you can configure email also. So does that answer your question?
I'm sorry to say that, Nikhil. I am like, from your explanation, I would be able to figure it out what is the purpose of having this monitoring stuff. But my question was, if we are going to mention a certain endpoint over here, this is going to check the status, like expected status is 200. This implicitly mean that Anypoint monitoring is actually creating some app which is going to consume the resources, just like how an API was been consuming a resource. Jitendra, what would you like to do? Would you like to say any comments for this?
Once again, I haven't heard. I was answering in the chat box. So yeah, can you repeat?
Okay, yeah, sure. Sorry for redirecting the question to you, Jitendra.
Yeah.
The question is, assume that there is an endpoint, that is going to fetch the time zone. That was the API that was being written, and over here we are going to say that okay, this is the let us check our endpoint is working as expected or not by mentioning the status code as 200.
Mm-hmm.
Now over here, if we are going to test it, doesn't it mean that are we not going to create, is Anypoint API, is Anypoint monitoring is going to create a new app to do that? Or else it's just like a plain HTTP request, some sort of a curl command kind of a stuff implicitly being used by Anypoint monitoring.
So you mean to say like you have created one of the API and
Jitendra, I got his question. Let me explain it. Sorry to interrupt. So yes. Now, so thing is, so Anypoint will not create any app. It will not consume your vCourse. It is the out of the box feature that you are getting, and it will just do the ping test. So you are not writing any heavy logic here, which will need any transformations or something like that. You are just simply writing expressions, and you are not. It will not consume any vCourse, and it will not create any app in your runtime manager. It will simply just call the service from here in the background. What it is using, I'm not sure, maybe curl or some other thing, but it is simply calling your app, and it is just collecting the status, and it is creating the report and displaying the report here, or emailing that report as well if you need.
Okay, so
sorry, sorry, Jack.
Yeah.
Hi, Jack. Joy here.
Hi.
Are you talking about functional monitoring?
It's not. It's like it's overall monitoring. Like here, Reddy's question is like So basically, like what happens, like we have enabled the monitoring for one application, whether it's create a new application or whether it creates some wrapper on the top of that application, right? But it is not like that. I will tell you exactly what happened. I can tell you exactly what happened. Generally, like Anypoint monitoring, like each service has its REST API, right? So have you seen, like when we deploy the application, okay, we have enabled one property like to true, like Anypoint metrics dot analytics dot something to true, right? So in that case, what is happening? The application, there will be no impact on application processing. It will send the logs, it will send the metrics asynchronously to the Anypoint monitoring. So it will feed the metrics to the to the Anypoint monitoring asynchronously. It will not do synchronously. It will not impact your Anypoint, like your flow. Like a lot of people is asking me one question, like whether it will generally on the logging we have a limitation of 100 MB or 30 days. Whatever come first, it will delete the data. So Anypoint monitoring is a it's a different feature, right? It doesn't consider into the logging. The logging is, like whatever data we are sending to Anypoint like monitoring, and whatever data gets stored in Anypoint monitoring, right? So it will not impact your logging, right? So logging will be 100 MB and whatever 30 days, whatever company it will delete the data. It will not consider whatever metrics sent to Anypoint monitoring or any other thing. So basically, it called the REST API. Okay. Yeah,
So,
Mary, you want to add something, right?
Yep. So to add that, what Anypoint monitoring does, it actually doing lots of things behind the scene. So the Anypoint platform itself has underlying APIs. So it's pulling all the data from runtime, from your Mule runtime itself, from the API analytics. So there's actually a visual diagram of that, like how Anypoint monitoring consolidate all this information. So by default, the what do you call this? It's doing the health check to the worker, but it doesn't actually ping your actual request. So for example, if you have GET request, you would actually do it in the functional monitoring to check if it's returning a status 200. So in functional monitoring, there's a private and public location. So in private location, that needs a vCore. So that's hosting inside the environment. So that functional monitoring would ping, or would actually call your request, but the health check is different. It's just doing a health check to your worker if it's up and running, or if it's unhealthy or unstable. So the functional monitoring, that has lots of information on how you're going to set up the public and private location. But I'm not sure if you're going to discuss this here, but yeah, it's worth to read that.
Yeah, so since I cannot demonstrate this functionality with my free account, so that's why I've just included, because that is available as a part of capability, and it is also, we can leverage. If your organization has this capability enabled, then you can leverage this capability, and you can utilize it to do the functional monitoring of your application, or just simple the ping test you can do with your applications. And it will simply just call that particular resource of the application, and it is not very extensive operation that you will do. It's just a ping test. You just call that service resource, and it will simply check whether that resource is available. And if that resource is available, it will simply send the 200 status without any data. So you will simply say, okay, my application is reachable, and the health check is successful. Okay.
Yep.
This is what the purpose of this functional monitoring.
So ready, I want to give some more idea on that, exactly what happened on the background. So generally, we have shown you, on premise we deploy the agent, and that agent is responsible for sending the log to Anypoint monitoring. Okay, so in cloud of what happens, so whenever you enable that option to true, so it deploy a agent on that particular server. Like basically what happened when you deploy the application on the cloud, it create the EC2 instance on the backside. It's a kind of server, and it install the Mule runtime, and on the top of Mule runtime it install the application. And it also, like when you enable that option to true, when you enable that option to true, it redeploy the application. While redeploying the application, it install the agent on that EC2 instance, and that EC2 instance is sending the logs to Anypoint monitoring, like what we have done for the on-premise, right? So ready, that have we answered your question?
Yes, Indra. What are the explanation? That's crystal clear. So as Joy, thank you very much to both of you.
Yeah.
Yep. So just to add on functional monitoring, public and private location. So in public, you've only got 5 maximum of executions. So that's the limitation of public. So from what I know is public is you have to go through the load balancer. So you're going to hit the API through load balancer. In private location, it's unlimited. So your private location would be hitting the Mule internal worker. So that's inside the VPC. So you could set up a scheduler there. And yeah, but that's limited. So that's the difference between the public and private location. I think, Jack, we could have another set of topics for functional monitoring deep
Yes,
dive.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we can have it, and I will make you as a speaker in that.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So I think ready. Like you got your answer, right? If any question, like you just let fire to us, so we can try to fix it.
Yeah, thanks, Jitendra. Thanks, John. Both
Okay.
of you have answered my question. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah. Vinit, can you go with your question?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. So my question is that if I want to search on certain parameter within a JSON message within the log, can I do that with some expression as, okay, which of these took more time or which are the failed ones, for example, based on HTTP status, something like that?
Yeah, so when you enable the log management, when you are a Titanium client, you can do all these things in your, you can play, with your log messages, and you can set custom matrices also.
So
you can do all these things.
I can write some small expression to filter the messages and see what is it.
So expression, you can search basically, you can filter and you can search. So expression, I don't think you can write expressions, but yeah, you can search, you can give the content that you want to search in the log, and you will get the information in the applications, from the applications in the log management.
All right. Okay. I was more coming from the Splunk side, whether it has got some capability like that to search.
Not right now. I don't think, like, so like Splunk is it's a third party tool, right? So where like we can send the logs and everything, and we can like write some queries, and like we can start searching the data, right? So also we can create some tags in the Splunk, right? So like if you want to do like search on basis of some word, so we can create the fields out of that, and we can do the searching, and we can create a graphs and all those things, right? Here it's not possible. Here like there are predefined parameter. Okay, on those predefined parameter we can do the searching, we can do the logging and all those things, right? But in Splunk, like you can send whatever log you want to send, and like in log you can define any kind of fields or any kind of tags, for searching or for creating the graphs. But here it's not possible for now, but there are some predefined set of fields on which you can do the searching, and on which you can see the graphs, on which you can create your custom dashboard.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So what you could do, you could push the logs for both Cloud Hub and your Splunk, and you could actually talk to the Anypoint platform APIs from your Splunk. So if you really want to go through detail of the information and stuff, so it's quite flexible. And to add with the logging, if you have a Titanium subscription, the only difference of that from the other is the from the Platinum is the advanced log management and the data retention and the data size. So in the advanced log management, which is cool, is you could do the log tokenization. So if you wanted to hide private details like client secret, so there's a connector in Anypoint Studio that is log tokenization. So you could tokenize that in your Mule app, and you will see that reflecting in your logs. So that feature of advanced log management is cool. You could do codeless logging there. So you don't need to go to debug your Mule app. You could actually do the logging there impromptu at which point you wanted to see.
Okay, thank you.
Other question from anyone?
Yeah, hi Jitendra, Mohit here. Am I audible?
Sir, like who have a question? Mohit, you have one question, right?
Yeah, am I audible to you?
Okay, Nikhil, you can carry.
Hey guys, so now we'll move to Anypoint alerts. So basically, alerts are the feature when your things are not working as expected, then or it reaches a certain threshold, then you can you can generate notifications. So based on your subscription level, you can have different types of alert. So Operational alerts that you can configure using API Manager. You can do it in two ways. The third way is also introduced recently. One is through API Manager, one is through Runtime Manager. And Runtime Manager alerts are runtime, operational alerts, and API Manager alerts are API operational alerts. So, and there is one basic alert capability also, which MuleSoft has recently added in the Anypoint platform. So we are going to discuss all of these in the alerting section. So a few months ago, this is how it looks like. And now it has changed a little bit. I will showcase you that how the alerts you can configure from the Anypoint monitoring dashboard, or you can go to the respective section in the Runtime Manager or the API Manager, and you can configure the alerts over there as well. So if I go here, if I click on the alert section, you will see a new alert, and this is the basic alert that they have added recently. And other than that, you can go to the API Manager and the Runtime Manager and create the alerts. So we'll start with the API Manager alerts. So once you have enabled the auto discovery and API instance ID, you have provided the API instance ID to your application, then you can connect your application in the API Manager and you can configure these alerts. So from here, I will go to the API Manager. If you see here, I have published RAML. I have then configured the API Manager with this RAML, and I have given the API instance ID to the application, and that application is running on my Runtime Manager. That's why you see the status as active here. And if I go inside, you will see various things that you can do here. And first section is the alerts that you can configure. So if I go to the alerts, let me show you that quickly. So these are the API operational alerts that you can configure in the API Manager. So you can set policies. If there is any policy violation, you can set alert for that. You can set alert for the request count. So let's say if the number of requests are greater than some threshold, in that case, you can generate alert. If you are receiving a response code 404, 500, or any custom response code you are getting for more than a threshold value, you can generate alert for that as well. And response time, let's say your service has a SLA of 1 second or 2 seconds, and if it is breaching that, you can have the alerting capability configured for that as well. So these are the 4 core alert that you can configure using API Manager, or you can say these are API operational alerts. So I will set for the request count, and I will show that when the request count is greater than a threshold value, I'm getting an email notification. Okay.
So am I audible now?
Request. Okay. This is enable info. You can set various severity levels. So if it's a let's say it's a warning alert. Okay, request count. It says that when the number of occurrences are greater than 5 for at least one consecutive period of 1 minute, then I want to generate the alert. So basically what this, I have selected alert type. So you can see here we have 4 categories to select from. I have selected the request count, and in the condition I have mentioned that when the number of occurrences is greater than 5 in the period of 1 minute, and it is for one period only, then I want to generate an alert. And who I can write email, or if any organization user is there, I can select that as well. So I am already there, I guess. Yes. So I will add myself. Okay, and create the alert. So now you see if the number of requests which are hitting my application, this employee application, and if the request count breaches the threshold of 5 requests per minute, then it will generate the alert. So it takes some time to send the alert. So what I will do, I will simply send couple of requests, and once the alert is there, then I will show you the alert. So I will just simply hit this application, this particular resource 5 times. Okay. So it will take a couple of seconds to generate the alert and send it to my mailbox. So once that alert is there, then I will show you the notification as well. So this is the API operational alerts that we can set in the API manager. Now we will move to the next part. Yeah, we'll already discuss runtime operational alerts. Okay. So runtime operational alerts, basically whenever we deploy the application and the deployment is failed or succeeded, or the worker is not responding, or the memory usage issue is there, or CPU usage issue is there, or there is custom application notification we want to set, or a server is disconnected. So for all these things, we can set the runtime operational alerts in the runtime manager. So here the important thing to notice is the custom application notification. So in the Mule application itself, what you can do, you can configure the connector, and based on that, you can set, you can create a notification in that connector, and you can send the notification to the notification center, and you can generate the alert also from that notification. So I will show you how to do that as well. First, let me show you the runtime manager and where I can create all these alerts and notification. So here you will see there is a tab called alerts. When I go here, you will see already I have created one alert. Let me delete this alert quickly. Okay, so this is how the fresh screen will look like. You just have to click here, and you can give custom alert. You can give any name, so you can define the severity level, critical warning info, and what is the source, whether you want to generate alert from the application or from the server. Then you can choose it's a hybrid application or Cloud Hub application. So since we have deployed over Cloud Hub, so I've chosen Cloud Hub. An application, all application, or the list, or it will simply show all the applications which are deployed in your Cloud Hub. So I've selected that application. Now in the condition, you can see all these conditions here. So right now I want to go for the custom application notification, and priority, I need to check priority. I will tell you why I'm checking this priority. So here in my application, if you see in the health check endpoint, I have configured this Cloud Hub notification connector. This is the connector basically. If you see here, this is the connector, and these are all the operations in this connector that you can do. So I have selected this create notification operation, and what you can do, you can, when you choose this particular operation, what it is doing, it is sending the notification in the notification center in the Anypoint platform, and from that you can generate alert as well. So first I will tell you what all configuration I have done for this. So in this, first is you have to configure the connection parameters. So I've given my username, password, and the environment. So automatically it will in the dropdown you will see, or you can write the environment. Automatically it will select, it will convert that name into the ID sandbox. You can see here, and that's all. Or you can give the environment.id also if you want. If wherever the application you are deploying the application, if you give environment.id, from that variable it will pick the environment ID and it will populate over here. So you can use that as well. So once the connection configuration is done, then you will select the domain. Domain is the project name. So you will see the list of applications which are available in that environment. You can select one, and then you will give the message that you want to populate in the notification center. So I have just given test notification, just a dummy message. And if you want to give custom properties also, you can give custom properties, and it will be available for you to configure in the alert section. So I will show you where you can use these custom properties and how you can populate these values from here. And priority, you can select the priority over here. So whatever priority you set here, you need to set this priority in this priority. In the condition in this priority, you need to select that priority. So right now it's in the info, and the message that you are populating, it should contain keywords from that particular message only. So right now test notification is my message. So I am just telling that the condition, it should contain test as a substring. So in the free account, you cannot modify the subject message. So that's why it is not available to customize. But yeah, in the enterprise edition or in the enterprise account, you can configure these options as well. And you then after that, you need to add the email ID also. So I will add my email ID. And that's it. I think that's all you need to do to create a custom alert in your Anypoint platform. And that's all you need to do in the MuleSoft application, as in this application as well. So you just need to use this connector operation, and you need to configure all this configuration information and all these values to use this custom connector. So once this create notification is configured, and when I call the health check endpoint, it will simply send the notification. So the idea is to demonstrate how we can send notification in the notification center and how we can generate alerts. So if you ask me where is the notification center, there is a small bell icon you can see. So before the demo, I just created one notification. So that's what you see here. So I will just call the health check endpoint one more time so that we can see that in the notification center we are getting the notification or not. So let me do that quickly in my Postman. So message is success. Okay, let me go to my to refresh. So if you see, just now I received one notification in the notification center. So this is how you can see the custom notifications in your notification center, and you can generate alerts as well. So notification in the notification center and the alert generation. These are two different things that you can achieve using this create notification and generate alert from that notification using the Cloud Hub connector and the custom alert configuration that you can set over here. So let me check. I have received a couple of emails. Yes. Okay, so let me forward this email to my, I'm just forwarding one email to my mailbox, which I can show you. Just give me a second. Okay. So let me show the, so this is the notification. that you will see. So you, in case of error, you can generate custom notification, or in case of any business event that you, for which you want to generate the notifications, you can do that. So basically we use this whenever there are errors, critical errors, and we quickly want to resolve those errors. In that case, we use this capability and configure it. So right now the purpose of using it with the health check is just to demonstrate how we can send the notification to the notification center and how we can generate email notification also out of it. So this is the capability that you can configure and explore in the runtime operational alerts. Okay, so with that, I'm done with all the alerting capabilities that MuleSoft provide out of the box, and you can configure in the Anypoint platform. So thank you, and it's over. Back to you, Jitendra.
So like I will add something in the last on the cloud up connector. So generally like when we need to use the cloud up notification connector, so basically it is like fit with your error handling framework, so basically like you need to generate the some email alerts, email alert on basic of some business criteria. Let's consider if your order like generation got failed, right? So if you want to generate the notification, right, in that case you can definitely use this a custom connector. Like there are various business scenario like which get failed and you want to generate the alert, so you can definitely make use of this cloud up notification connector. So like what are the advantages we are getting from it? So one of the more big advantage we are getting from this custom alerts or cloud up notification, like we don't have to configure the SMTP server. Like it's a part of your platform, right? You don't have to go and configure the SMTP server. So that is the one of the biggest advantage we are getting from this alerts. So it's a part of your platform.
Yes, Jitendra. So yeah, so purpose of this is just to explain that how we can leverage the Cloud Hub connector capabilities, and there are multiple operations that you can configure. But yeah, the most important one is the create notification, because this way you can generate the notification and send it to the notification center, and you can also generate the alerts out of that notification and send the email notification without configuring any SMTP servers.
Okay, so can you, like Nikhil, can you unshare your screen so I can share my screen?
Yes, I've done that already.
So Nikhil, like thanks for the great session. Like and giving the insight on the Anypoint monitoring. It was really a good session, and like we got a lot of things from this session, right?
Jitendra.
So can you see my screen?
Yes, Jitendra.
Okay. So guys, like I have one question before I start with this session. So like Nikhil has already discussed on Anypoint monitoring, and I would like to discuss on MuleSoft data loader.io. I feel like most of the people doesn't know about this particular capability. Like, does anybody had heard about this data loader.io capability? Yeah, there is a one data loader which is provided by Salesforce. There is a one data loader.io which is provided by MuleSoft. So anybody heard about MuleSoft data loader.io?
Yes, Jitendra, I have heard.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So anyone else? Okay, so generally, like, what is the purpose of data loader.io? So basically, data loader.io is used to export or import a data from a Salesforce to any other data sources. So currently, supported data sources are FTP, SFTP, Blocks, and the Dropbox. Okay, so MuleSoft have a web-based tool which allow user to import and export and delete data to and from the Salesforce. Most common use case for the data loader is to migrate and cleanse the data to and from the Salesforce. So as I mentioned, so data loader.io is basically used to import, export, or delete data from Salesforce. Okay, and like this particular data loader.io is capable of importing data from Box, from Dropbox, SFTP, and FTP locations. Okay, and data loader it's a completely 100% web-based tool. Okay, it's a completely web-based tool. It's not part of your Anypoint platform. It's not part of your Anypoint studio. It's a separate component. It's a completely web-based GUI-based tool where you can schedule your jobs. You can create the jobs. You can schedule the job as a real time, or no, even you can go and run the job manually whenever you have to migrate the data from one data source to the Salesforce. So data loader I is a great tool for export, import, and deletion of data, but you need something addition to its capabilities such as orchestration, bidirectional synchronization, real-time integration. So basically it's capable of doing bidirectional or synchronization, real-time integration. So we will going to see that. So we will see 3 demonstration, how we can import the data to Box, how we can export the data from Box to Salesforce, and how we can delete the data from Salesforce. Okay, so basically there are few important features, like it provides intelligent data mapping. We will see that it's very easy to use and it's very secure, and it imported data from Box, Dropbox, SFTP, to the Salesforce. So basically it comes into 3 versions. So let me make the screen bigger. So one is free version, one is professional version, one is enterprise version. So in 3 version, you can just have a 10,000. You can process only 10,000 of the record. Whether you are exporting, whether you are deleting, whether you are importing, you cannot process more than 10,000 record. Okay, you can create the n number of tasks. You can schedule n number of jobs in free version. In case of professional, it costs around $99 per month, and you can have 100,000 requests per month. Okay, the file size in the case of free is 10 MB, and the file size in the case of professional it's 50 MB. So each file can contain 1,000 record in case of free. In case of professional, it can contain 10,000 records. Okay, it supports Dropbox, Box, and FTP, but it doesn't support the SFTP. Free and professional version doesn't support FTP. So schedule task currently support it's 1. Here it's 50. Salesforce connection it supports 1. In professional 1. Okay, so let me go with enterprise. In enterprise, the cost is around $299 per month per user for the single user. So number of record you can process, which is unlimited. Like number of tasks, unlimited. File size, one file size should be not more than 100 MB. If you have 500 MB of data, so you have to split that file into the 5 files of each of 100 MB, and you have to process it. Each file cannot contain more than 100,000 records. So if you are if some of the file is containing 200,000 records, you have to split that file into 2 files, and also you have to make sure it doesn't exceed the 100 MB. Then Dropbox, it supports FTP, Box, Dropbox, and SFTP. Okay, you can schedule n number of tasks. Okay, you can have a 10 Salesforce connector. Okay, in case of free, the task gets expired in 30 days. Whatever task you created, it get expired in the 30 days. You have to recreate that task. In case of professional, enterprise, it doesn't expire. So basically, email notification, it allowed to send the email notification for one task, not for the multiple tasks. You can use unlimited for professional, unlimited for enterprise. Support for free version, we get a community support. For professional, we get email and community support. For such kind of things. So for enterprise, you can start with 30 days try. Okay, and then you can pay $299 per month per user. So one of the advantage we are getting, so basically we can use the same credential. We can use the Salesforce credential to log in into dataloader.io. Okay, so we can use same credential. So currently we will work on the account object. So basically a Salesforce have some account object. So let me move to my account object. So let me see how many records in my account object. So currently I can see there are 17 records in my account object of the Salesforce. Okay, so now let me move it to dataloader.io. Okay, so this is how the data loader.io screen looks like. So data loader for Salesforce, it's giving a lot of advantage. Or everything you can read it here, and it support like at least 4 data sources for now. As I discussed, box, Dropbox, FTP, and SFTP. We will use the box for our demonstration purpose. Okay, so now you can click here. You can say login with Salesforce. So if you have any custom URL, you can make use of that. So I have a Salesforce custom URL. So I have a Salesforce custom instance. So this is my Salesforce custom instance. I can copy this URL and you can just paste it here. My environment is sandbox, and you can say login. So it will prompt for username and the password. But in my case, I am already logged into Salesforce. That is the reason it is not asking me for the username and password. It will do the single sign-on. So let you can see this is the dataloader.io screen. So like here you have some presentation like what is the dataloader.io, how we can import the data, how we can export the data, how we can delete the data. So there are 4 videos available on the home screen. You can go through those videos. Okay, you will get some idea on that, what like importing, exporting, and deleting data. So there is a documentation available, like what are the best practices, importing, exporting the data, like how we can make the connection with Dropbox, Brox, FTP, SFTP, and that's means the SFTP is only available with the enterprise version. It is not available with free and the professional version. Okay, and it is the MuleSoft. It's a data loader IO is powered by MuleSoft. So it's a MuleSoft utility, and it's a MuleSoft web-based tool. So now you can go to like here, and you can go to settings. Okay, in settings you can see like your so when I join, like number of tasks runs, total number of row process, everything you can see it here. So here you can set your time zone and everything. Here you can define your connection. So whatever connection you will define, you can see it here. And what is the subscription is available. So currently so currently this is my subscription. The task, whatever, it's a free subscription. So currently I already processed 65 out of 10,000. Now I can only process 9,935 remaining. Okay, so if you want to upgrade to subscription, you can click here, upgrade subscription. Okay, you can definitely upgrade the subscription. So like Salesforce connection 1 out of 1 use. So for currently like for professional or enterprise version, it's supposed 10 Salesforce 10 instance of Salesforce, or 10 connection to the Salesforce. Okay, so now what I will do, so let me go log into my box. Okay, I don't know what happened to box. So I have storage. I have a box storage. So let me log into my box. Okay. So this is my box. So here I have various folders, and I have one folder test 1, 2, 3, and I have account.csv which contain like I don't know 12 records I think. So like that contain 12 records, like like these are the 12 records I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the billing city for all the record is London, and like so this contain the 12 record, and I want to synchronize, I want to add this 12 record into the Salesforce. I want to import these 12 records into the Salesforce. So what I can do, I can go to my dataloader.io, I can say new task, and what I have to do, I have to import. The first, by default, you will see the Salesforce connection. So whatever account you have logged in into, that will display automatically here, and you can add more by clicking on this plus sign. So what operation you have to perform? I want to perform insert. You can do the upsert and you can do the update also. So upsert will basically, if record already present, it will try to update it. If record not present, it will try to create it. In case of update, it will completely, go and update the record. So I will going to use account object. I can, so see, Salesforce object is nothing. It's, you can consider it's kind of SQL table in the object. Object is nothing. It's kind of table, and which contain the records, which contain the rows basically. So columns and rows. So basically you have a field name, which in each field, and you have a data. So data is nothing. It's a rows. Your like field name is nothing. It's a column. Object is nothing. It's a table. So I can use this account as my object, and I can say next. Now, from where I have to read the file? I will use the box. So, okay. So as I mentioned, like you can connect to database, you can connect to box, Dropbox, secure FTP, FTP. So secure activity, I cannot create a connection. It is, secure activity, it's not allow me to create the connection because FTP, SFTP is only available with enterprise edition. I can go to box, I can click on this plus sign. It will take me to the, box. So I will put my user credential. You don't have to put every time. Once you create the connection, so like that's fine. Like you can reuse that connection. I can say authorize. You can grant the access. Okay, so now from where you want to read? I want to read this account.csv. I will select the file. So already I talk about the intelligent mapping, right? So intelligent mapping, like see, it provide one intelligent mapping, like what it does, basically it will see the source field and it will try to automatically map with the Salesforce field. So currently, if you see my account name, it automatically get mapped with account name, billing state automatically get. So it does intelligent mapping. If you want to change it by default, like if you like, you have to verify it, and if you feel like some intelligent mapping has gone wrong, so you can definitely go and change this. You can click here, you can select a different field basically. Okay, if you want to map with custom field, you can do that here. IDs, all this thing. So right now my mapping is perfectly fine. Okay, I don't want to do any changes. So this is known as an intelligent mapping. So I think it has some AI feature in the background, artificial intelligence, which try to map your source field with the destination field automatically. Okay, it also shows that sample data of the first record. You can see it here. You can go to next here. So basically, if you use the batch API, you cannot send more than 200 record at a time. So you can use the bulk API. Okay, you can schedule the task hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever you want to do. You can definitely schedule it. Okay, so but I will going with a normal approach, and if you want to set scheduler or whatever, you can do it here. So what date, format, timeout, and all those things you can set it. And if you want, once your job is completed, if you want mail, you can configure here. You can click it and you can put the name here. Okay. So that's fine. I will not do that right now. It's a free account. I don't have that much of email limits and everything. So that's capability available, and I will say save and run. So you can see your job is running, and like I have a 17 record. It should be 29 once the job is finished. So you can see all this record has been added. Okay, I have a 29 records, and this particular records had been added with the city, London's, and all those things. Okay, so I can see I can easily add the account. So basically, generally what we does, we use like a lot of batch processing and all those things to sync the record. But here we can do like this way. It's very easy. Like you don't have to define anything or anything like So you can do that. But still, like it doesn't provide all the capability that provided by batch processing, like so it doesn't provide all these capabilities. But yeah, but still it have a good good amount of capability, like for synchronizing the data. So yeah, you can see all record has been added. Now I can go to data loader. You can see my data, everything is successfully. You can see 12 successes, and if you click on this, it will download all these 12 records. What your process is. So this is how you can import data from box data source to the Salesforce. Now, second job, we will see how we can export data from Salesforce to the box. So I will create a new task. I can say export. Here, connection. You need to select account object. This is my account object. So I will say next. So here you can give a query. Okay. I don't want to select all the record. I just want to select the city with the London, London. So I can give a query here, billing city equals to London. Whatever record I have inserted, I want to select those, and I can add plus. Now you can see your query here. So you can verify it. Okay, select. Okay, something is issue because I haven't selected the field. You can select the fields from here. You can select the name, whatever, So let me select only 3 fields. Now verify again. Yeah, it has been verified. Your query is perfectly fine. So you done that. If you want to order by, you can do on what field we have to do the order by. So you can generate your own query from here. You can say next, and like in advance again, like if you want to schedule or if you want to use bulk API, same. If you want to generate the notification, you can configure all those things. Then a destination folder where I want to send the copy of export. Okay, so what I can do, let me go to box. Let me go back. Let me check if this folder have any file. So, okay, so I will upload or I will export the file in this particular folder. So you can go to box. Your box connection is already available. It will reuse that. I want to save a file here, test234. Okay, and you can save and run. Okay, so it will, I think it should export a 12 records. Let's see. So as per me, it should export the 12 record. Let me go back to box. Let me reload it. Okay, it exported the file. I will try to open this file. You can see it export, like account name, account type is not available. That's why it's showing empty. So I got the account ID and respecting the account name. So it should be 12 record 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it should be 12 record. Okay, so now we have done the export now, and now we will delete this 12 records. How we can do that? So you can see this is also successful. I will create, and you can see it exported 12 record. Now I want to delete all the record, which I exported. So I can say delete. You can select account object type, which is account, Dropbox. You need to give a file, which accounts you need to delete it. So right now account ID is already there. So this is my primary key. It automatically identify this is as a primary key. So otherwise we need to set it. Okay, so account ID, you can say next, and that's it. You can schedule, like you can use bulk API, whatever you want to do that. Now you can save and run. So let me go to all accounts. So it should have a 17 records now. Yeah, you can see there are 17 records now. Rest of the records has been deleted. You can see only 17 records, right? So everything is successful. Now you can see previously it was 65. Now what we have done, 12 plus 12, 36. So basically we have imported 12 record, then we exported 12 record, then we have deleted 12 record. So 12 plus 12 plus 12 is become 36, and 65, and previously it was 65. So 65 plus 36, it's become 101. So you can see your 101 record is processed. Now 9899 is remaining for this particular month. Okay, so that's how it does. Okay, so you need to careful on subscription also, what kind of subscription you use and how many rows and like data limit is applicable to your subscription. Okay, so this is just a small demonstration I have to give on this dataloader.io. This is very useful capability. Okay, but yeah, you can write some kind of small business logic, but you cannot write a big business logic like exception handling like that you can achieve from the batch processing. Like if you are aware, like your data is perfectly fine and all those things. So in case you can use this particular utility, like if you have like high amount of business logic and all those things, in that case I will not suggest to go with this utility. This is generally very useful when you want to migrate the data from one system let consider if you have some legacy system and you want to move from that legacy system to the Salesforce, for CRM basically. So in that case, you can use this particular utility. So basically what you can do, you can ask to generate the CSV file for your legacy system. You place to some SFTP, FTP, or some XYZ location which is supported by this data loader.io, and you can just export, you can import that data into the Salesforce. So, and even vice versa, if you are moving from the Salesforce, if you want to, or if you want to synchronize data to some other system, you can export the data from Salesforce to some FTP location, and from FTP you can transfer to other sources. So that is how you can achieve this, exporting and importing data. And even if you want to cleaning the data, if you want to remove the unwanted, useless record, in that case you can use this particular capability. Yeah. So yeah, any question I have done with this particular thing. I hope you understand this complete demo. See, yeah, you can do it. Advantage in the sense if you have a simple data migration or whatever, right? So you don't have to write the process, you don't want to deploy the application, that will be consume your vCourse and all those things, right? You don't have to go and deploy your application. You don't have to maintain your application. If it was just a 1 or 2 time job, you just want to migrate the data, you have to forget it. In that case, you can use this particular capability, right? If you have a huge amount of data that you have to migrate, but that is only one-time job. You will not going to use that process, again and again. In that case, you can use this data loader.io utility, right? See, I will definitely go with batch processing in case if you are synchronizing the data every day, if you have a huge amount of business logic, if you have some data transformation, bigger data transformation and all those things, you go with definitely MuleSoft. And this is also MuleSoft capability, data loader.io. So in case as I mentioned, if you want to migrate data from legacy to legacy system, so to the Salesforce, if you want to clean the data, but so cleaning the data, let's consider exam, how many times you will clean the data, right? It will be 2 or 3 times in the year. You can use this particular capability, right? So yeah, so even it provides a free free edition where you can process up to 10,000 of record. Yeah. Any other question?
Jiten, please scroll down. There are some more questions. Please scroll down the questions. There are some more questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I already mentioned, right? What's the maximum volume does it support? So we have already discussed this, but I will show you a screen again. So what is the maximum? So for free tier, it can support file size of 10 MB. For professional, it can support the file size of 50 MB. For enterprise, it can support the file size of 100 MB. And each file may contain 1000 record, 1000 record, for professional 10,000. And for enterprise, it should contain 100,000 records. So this is the limit. But yeah, definitely let's consider if you have a 200 MB file, you have to split into 2 files and process it. So that is how you have to do it. Any other question? Yeah, it's a own yeah, right, Mustafa. It's a own capability. Okay, it doesn't do anything with Anypoint platform, or it's a we don't know exactly what they are using the backend, but yeah, definitely there might be something. Yeah, there are some kind of data validations are available in data, but let me see. So I don't think any kind of data validation is available. Let me check it. As I mentioned, if you have lot of data validation and all those things, I will not suggest to go with this particular thing. But yeah, definitely if you are aware everything is fine, so in that case you can definitely use this particular. So as such, it doesn't have that particular capability of validation, validating the things and all those things. Okay, so it doesn't have that particular, but definitely you can use the lookup IDs and all those things. So it have a capability of using in Salesforce. You might be aware of lookup IDs, so there is a parent-child object relationship. So those things can be achieved by data loader.io, but no validation and those things is not available for now. Yes. So we have like only 4 things, like 5 things basically: SFTP, FTP, box, Dropbox, and the databases. That's it. We don't have any other, we don't have any other thing. So if you want to export the data from market or any other sources, you have to place it to SFTP or FTP or box, and from box this particular utility can process the data. No, you can like you can use Excel, CS Suite, any flat file, you can do that. You can use that. But it have a limited options. It doesn't have all the options. Like we cannot write too much of business logic, but it has. So as I mentioned, it is mostly useful when you want to migrate the data from one source to other source, right? If you want, it can use for synchronization purpose. Okay, but like what in case of like batch processing, you can have a watermark and all those things. I don't think we can achieve it here. Okay. Okay, so let me go with the next slide. So guys, I will start with
Jitendra, just one thing. So, in between, Manohar Ramdas has asked one question that on the free tier, he is not able to see the Anypoint monitoring. So this is by default, is not, activated. So you have to go to the access management and you have to enable the access for the Anypoint monitoring. So by default, all the accesses are not given to the user. So if you want, I can showcase the same. Otherwise, we can continue with the quiz.
Okay. So before continuing with the quiz, so like I will ask so basically like just give me a second. So basically, like we have already set up the next 4 meetups. So basically, the next meetup is on 20th November. So where we will like Mary Joy will be discussing or like Maven archetype, like how you can create a MuleSoft template using like Maven archetype. Then like I will be discussing on GraphQL with MuleSoft. Then we have a meeting on like Anypoint VPC. And so like basically we have took one initiative where we will just keep a live demonstration meetup. So basically that meetup will be on weekdays. So basically Wednesday, 8 p.m. IST. So 8 p.m. IST to 9 p.m. IST. So basically it will be around 1 hour. It will not cross 1 hour. It can be less than 1 hour, but it will not goes more than 1 hour. Okay. So that is what we have took the initiative. That is completely live demonstration meetup where we will select some complex topic and we will try to demonstration how we can set up those things, like VPC, VPM clustering, server group, control plane, runtime plane. So such kind of things we will see in those meetup. So like the first meetup we are starting with, 2nd of December. Then like on 19th of December, again, we will talking about the MuleSoft architecture patterns, like API led architecture, like stage event driven architecture. And like we will talk about the M-Unit tools and the recorder. Then the last meeting is like the other meeting is on 6th of Jan, not last, sorry. That is again a second live demonstration meeting. We will talk about Anypoint clustering server group. So how we can create unicast clustering, how we can create multicast clustering, how we can add the servers into control plane, how we can enable the monitoring on the cluster. All those things we will be, we will going to see in this particular meetup. Okay. So next thing. So like guys, like anybody want to become a speaker, they can reach to the organization, me or Nitish. Okay. So they can reach to us. And like if you have any queries, anything related to this, you can reach me, you can reach Nikhil, you can reach anyone, like you can reach Mary also. She has answered a lot of things in this session. You can reach Nitish also, So yeah. So for any issues, you can reach us, for any query or any clarification. So guys, I would like to ask what kind of topics you are looking for, in upcoming meetups. Like, it will be useful for us if you can provide the topic. And other thing, like what we have seen in the previous meetup, like nobody is giving the feedback for the meetup. I will strongly recommended everyone to at least to spare 5 or 10 minutes to give the feedback on the meetups. So this will help us to improve, for the further meetups. And you can suggest the topic, what are the topics you are looking for. If you are facing issues with some of the topics, you are not, so you can suggest, you can suggest us, and definitely we will come up with those topic and we will try to, explain those topic basically. Okay. And just I will tell you, just please give the feedback to the meetup. So you have a chance of winning the $50. Any one of the person can win a $50. Okay. So please give the feedback to the meetup. So that is recommended. So now I will just stop. I will just start with some few questions. So generally the rules for the when I will ask the question, so I will display on the screen. So once Nitish will say go ahead into the chat, then you have to give the answer, and those answers will be only consider. If anybody give the answer before go ahead, it will not get considered. Okay, so be careful on that. Okay, so my first question is, let me see if I have a question that. So my first question is on dataloader.io. Okay, and this is related to licensing. So I'm displaying a question on the which kind of dataloader.io subscription allow to import and export data from SFTP. So you can just digest this question. So Nitish, can you go ahead? Okay, I will select the 3 people from this. Okay, I got the answers. So first 3 people. So Shweta, Anand Joshi, Shweta, and Vardhan.
Okay, here I'm giving the separator with question 2. So once question will be displayed on screen, you can give the answers.
Let me stop the sharing. Let me find all the questions, then I will share again. Okay, give me 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm sharing the second question. So how many records can be processed per month in the free subscription tier in dataloader.io?
Yeah, please go ahead. Okay.
Okay, so can you select so basically Akib, we have selected Sweta already. Okay, you can select one. Akib is there. Okay, let me write the
Dheeraj
name.
Singh. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
Dheeraj give 1,000, right?
Wrong. Sorry, my bad.
Anand Joshi is already selected. Abin BT. So there are 2 Abin BT. So how?
No, they both are same, I guess.
They both are same?
Can you confirm, Abin?
Yeah, it's the same. It's me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I connected to two
Okay.
guys.
So I will
And
say
next is
Abin.
Harleen.
Arlene.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, I'll give a separator for the third question.
Nikhil, can you ask one question from your monitoring session? You can share your screen and you can ask one question.
Yeah, sure, Jitendra. So just give me a second. Let me get that. So guys, the question that I'm going to ask is MCQ, and you will have 4 options. Out of those 4 options, 1 option will be correct. So you have to choose the correct one. Okay. So I will share my screen. Let me know once you are able to see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Nikhil.
Okay, so I will share the question screen. So question is, which alert can't be set in runtime manager? It's deployment failure, application and deployment, number of errors, and request count.
Yes, please answers. Yeah.
So like Nikhil, can you give me first three names?
Yeah, the correct one is the fourth one.
It's ready. Fourth one, right? Fourth
Yes.
option, right? Okay. It's ready. Then who is the fourth?
Shivarama,
Sivarama.
Krishna.
Then who is next? Sivarama and then Dheeraj,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so I will share my screen. So we got 9 names and we will select like 3 people out of this 9. So basically we got